your dog will not stop scratching. It is 2 in the morning, and you can hear it from the other room, that rhythmic, desperate sound of nails against skin over and over, and you lie there staring at the ceiling, wondering what you are missing, what you are doing wrong, and whether your dog is suffering because of something you put in their bowl. You check their coat in the morning and you see it. Little black specks, redness, patches where the fur is thinning, and your stomach drops, because you know what that means. Now you are standing in a pet store aisle staring at a bottle of flea and tick treatment that costs $47, and the label has more chemical names on it than a pharmacy receipt, and something in your gut is telling you there has to be another way. There is, and if you saw the thumbnail, you already know what I am about to show you. One drop, one ingredient you probably already have in your kitchen right now, and today I am going to tell you exactly how to use it, exactly how much to use, and exactly why it works, because understanding the why is what makes the difference between something that helps and something that just masks the problem for a week. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Jin Park, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back to the channel. Now I want to say something before we go any further, because I know a lot of you found this video at a desperate moment. Your cat has been scratching for weeks, maybe months. You have tried the shampoos, you have tried the sprays, you have tried changing the food, and you are sitting here watching a YouTube video at whatever hour it is because nothing is working and you are running out of ideas. Here is what I need you to hear. You are not a bad pet parent. The fact that you are here educating yourself, searching for a safer answer that is love, drop the guilt at the door. We are going to figure this out together. Now, I know this video says dog channel, and my loyal subscribers know I usually focus on our canine friends. But today we are talking about cats, because the questions have been flooding my comment section for weeks, and when I read every single comment, and I do read every single one, I kept seeing the same desperation, the same pattern, the same combination of itching and fleas and inflammation and owners who are scared of harsh chemicals. So today we go there. This is a complete masterclass on natural itch relief and flea control for cats. Grab a notebook if you have one nearby, because we are covering a lot of ground. And before we dive in, if you are not subscribed yet, hit that button right now. This kind of safe, research-backed, holistic content is exactly what we put out every single week, and you do not want to miss it. Also, if you want to go deeper on gut health and how it connects to skin inflammation in cats specifically, I made another video on that topic that I will link for you. It pairs perfectly with what we are covering today. Let us start from the beginning, because the problem is almost never what it looks like on the surface. Chapter 1. The itch nobody talks about, and why scratching is actually the last symptom, not the first. Here is the hard veterinary truth, my friends. When your cat is scratching, the scratching is not the problem. The scratching is the alarm going off. The fire started somewhere else, and if we keep spraying water on the alarm instead of finding the fire, we are going to be having this conversation again in 3 months. Feline skin is thinner than dog skin and significantly more reactive. When the skin barrier is compromised, whether by fleas, by a yeast overgrowth, by a food sensitivity, or by environmental allergens, the body sends out inflammatory signals called cytokines. These cytokines trigger nerve endings in the skin and create what dermatologists call the itch-scratch cycle. The cat scratches, the scratching breaks the skin further, more bacteria enter, more inflammation follows, more scratching. It is a loop, and breaking the loop requires addressing the root, not the surface. The other thing most people do not realize is that one flea bite, just one, can trigger a reaction that lasts for weeks in a cat that has developed flea allergy dermatitis. So even if you look at your cat and you see no fleas, that does not mean fleas were not the cause. It means the fleas may be gone, and the inflammation they triggered is still very much alive. An owner came into my clinic about 8 months ago with a beautiful 7-year-old tortoiseshell cat named Cleo. She had been itching for almost 4 months. The owner had used 2 different over-the-counter flea treatments. No fleas were visible. The vet before me had prescribed a short course of steroids. The itching would stop for 2 weeks and then come back harder. What we found when we did a full workup was that Cleo had flea allergy dermatitis combined with a secondary yeast overgrowth on the skin, and every time the steroids suppressed the inflammation, the yeast took the opportunity to spread a little further. Nobody had addressed the yeast. Nobody had supported the skin barrier. We were putting out the smoke but leaving the fire burning underneath. So before we talk about what to add to the routine, I need you to understand that we are building a system here, not applying a single fix. That is the holistic approach. That is the difference between a patch and a cure. Now that we have covered why the itch keeps coming back, here is where it gets more specific and more actionable. Chapter 2. The one drop that changes everything, and the science behind why it works. The ingredient I am talking about is food-grade diatomaceous earth. And if you have never heard of it, let me explain it quickly, because the mechanism is fascinating, and it matters. Diatomaceous earth is made from the fossilized remains of tiny aquatic organisms called diatoms. Under a microscope, the particles look like microscopic shards of glass, except they are completely safe for mammals. What they do to insects, however, is a different story. When a flea comes into contact with diatomaceous earth, those microscopic edges penetrate the exoskeleton of the insect and cause it to dehydrate and die. No chemical, no toxin, pure physical mechanism. Now, here is the critical word that I need you to write down right now. Food grade. Not pool grade, not industrial grade. Food grade diatomaceous earth only. The pool grade version has been chemically treated and can cause serious lung damage if inhaled. Food grade is safe for mammals, has been used in human food processing for decades, and is the only version we ever discuss in a holistic pet context. The application is straightforward. You take a small amount, and I mean small, think a light dusting, less than a quarter teaspoon, and you work it gently into your cat's dry coat, focusing on the base of the tail, the belly, and behind the ears, which are the primary areas fleas prefer. You avoid the face entirely, you avoid the nose, the eyes, the mouth, and because any fine powder can be irritating to respiratory passages if over-applied, you apply it lightly, in a well-ventilated space, and you smooth it through the fur with your hands rather than shaking it from a height. Please hear this vet warning. Do not use diatomaceous earth on cats with any open wounds, raw skin, or actively bleeding scratch marks. The mechanical action that kills fleas will also be deeply irritating to damaged skin tissue. If your cat has open sores from scratching, we address those first. Then we use diatomaceous earth as a preventive tool going forward, not as an active treatment on broken skin. One drop, one dusting, one intervention, and already we have disrupted the flea life cycle without introducing a single synthetic chemical into your cat's environment. But what if the fleas are handled and the scratching continues? What if the problem is not the flea anymore, but what the flea left behind? Chapter 3. The gut-skin connection your vet's office never explains. I want you to picture your cat's immune system as a security team. When that team is well-staffed and well-rested, it handles threats quickly and efficiently. When the team is overwhelmed by chronic inflammation, by a poor diet, by repeated antibiotic use, by stress, it starts making mistakes. It starts reacting to things it should not react to. Pollens, proteins in food, dust mites, its own skin. This is why two cats in the same house, exposed to the same fleas, will have completely different reactions. One cat scratches for a day and moves on, the other scratches for months. The difference is almost always the state of the immune system, and the state of the immune system is almost always tied to the gut. 70% of your cat's immune tissue lines the gastrointestinal tract. This is not a holistic opinion, it is basic immunology. The gut is where the immune system does most of its training, most of its regulation, and most of its communication. When the gut microbiome is imbalanced, which vets call dysbiosis, the immune system becomes dysregulated, and skin is one of the first places that dysregulation shows up. What supports gut balance in cats? A species-appropriate probiotic is the place to start. Look for a probiotic formulated specifically for cats, containing strains like Enterococcus, Faecium, and Lactobacillus acidophilus. In a dose appropriate for your cat's weight, your vet or the product label will guide you on that. Do not assume a human probiotic or a dog probiotic is interchangeable. Cat gastrointestinal pH is different, cat transit time is different, and the strains that thrive in a feline gut are not identical to the ones that thrive in a human gut. Now, some of you are going to reach for plain yogurt or kefir as a natural probiotic source, and I want to be honest with you, those can be useful in small amounts for some cats. But here's the warning that I will never skip. If you are buying any human food product, yogurt, kefir, anything sweetened, you must read the label and confirm it contains 0 xylitol, sometimes listed as birch sugar. Xylitol is an artificial sweetener that is found in an increasingly wide range of human food products, and it is toxic to animals. A plain, unsweetened, additive-free product only, every single time. No exceptions. A woman brought her cat to me after she had started adding a flavored Greek yogurt to the food bowl, trying to do something good, trying to help with the itching. The product contained xylitol. The cat was fortunate and recovered, but it was a terrifying 2 days. Read the label. Always. If your cat is dairy sensitive, and many cats are a capsule or powder, probiotic is always the safer route. Now we have the surface covered with diatomaceous earth. We have the gut immune connection supported with probiotics. But we need to talk about the skin barrier itself, because without repairing it, we are asking the immune system to defend a house with no front door. Step 4. Rebuilding the skin barrier, the ingredient that soothes from the outside in. The skin barrier is made up of a fatty acid matrix. Think of it like the mortar between bricks. When the barrier is intact, allergens, bacteria, and yeast cannot get through. When the barrier is disrupted by scratching, by flea bites, by harsh chemical treatments, by dry air, the mortar crumbles, and anything can get inside. The most effective topical support I have seen in holistic practice for repairing that fatty acid matrix in cats is pure cold-pressed coconut oil. Not the refined, bleached, deodorized version. Cold-pressed, organic, virgin coconut oil. Coconut oil contains a compound called lauric acid, which makes up approximately 50% of its fatty acid content. Lauric acid has well-documented antimicrobial and antifungal properties, meaning it specifically targets the bacteria and yeast that colonize compromised feline skin. In my clinic, I have seen it dramatically reduce secondary infections in cats whose skin barriers were damaged by chronic scratching. The application. Warm a small amount, we are talking a pea-sized amount for a medium-sized cat between your fingertips until it melts, and work it gently into the most affected areas of skin. Behind the ears, along the base of the tail, any area that looks red, flaky, or irritated. Do this 2 to 3 times per week, not every day. Cats groom themselves, and we do not want them ingesting large amounts of any fat, even a healthy one. Vet warning: if your cat's skin is severely inflamed, weeping, or crusting, please do not apply anything topical without a professional evaluation first. What looks like a skin irritation can sometimes be ringworm, which requires antifungal medication, and applying coconut oil to a ringworm lesion can actually create a warm, moist environment that encourages the fungus to spread. When in doubt, get the diagnosis first. We are building something real here. A flea barrier on the coat, gut support from the inside, skin repair from the outside. But there is one more piece, and this is the one most people miss. This is the piece that determines whether everything else works or whether it does not. Secret number 5. The environmental reset, because your home is reinfesting your cat every single day. Here's the statistic that changes everything for most of my clients. 95% of a flea infestation does not live on the animal. It lives in your environment. In the carpet, in the couch, in the baseboards, in the pet bedding, in the floor cracks. The adult fleas on your cat represent only 5% of the total flea population in your home. This means that even if you perfectly treat your cat, if the environment is not addressed, new adult fleas will emerge from the carpet every day, jump back onto your cat, and the cycle begins again. This is why people say treatments stop working. The treatment was never the problem, the environment was the untreated variable. The holistic environmental approach starts with washing every fabric your cat contacts, beds, blankets, couch covers in hot water, at the hottest setting your washing machine allows. Once a week, during an active infestation, hot water kills eggs, larvae, and pupae at all stages. For carpets, food-grade diatomaceous earth applied to the carpet surface, left for 12 to 48 hours, and then vacuumed thoroughly is one of the most effective non-toxic environmental flea treatments available. Apply it when the family and pets are out of the room. Ventilate well. Come back in after an hour. The powder needs time to do its work. After vacuuming, seal and dispose of the vacuum bag immediately, or if you have a bagless vacuum, empty the canister directly into an outdoor trash bag and seal it. Fleas at all stages of the life cycle can survive inside a vacuum cleaner and re-emerge. An owner came to me exasperated. She had treated her 2 cats every month with a prescription flea preventive, consistently, never missed a dose, and the cats kept getting fleas. When I asked her about the environment, she said she vacuumed once a week, but had never washed the cat beds. Those beds were the reservoir. We washed everything in hot water, applied diatomaceous earth to the carpets, and within 3 weeks the infestation was over. Not because we changed the cat treatment, because we addressed where the fleas actually lived. And now we arrive at the block. I have been building toward this entire video. The one that ties everything together. The one that most online articles get completely wrong. Chapter 6. The hidden trigger that makes every natural remedy fail, and the single dietary change that makes them all work. I have seen cats on perfect natural flea protocols who still scratch constantly. Diatomaceous earth on the coat, probiotics in the bowl, coconut oil on the skin, clean environment and still scratching, and every single time, when I dig deeper, I find the same hidden trigger. Omega fatty acid deficiency. Here is why this matters so much. Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, are the raw material the body uses to produce anti-inflammatory compounds called resolvins and protectins. Without sufficient omega-3s in the diet, the body cannot resolve inflammation efficiently. It can start an inflammatory response, but it cannot stop it. The off switch for the immune reaction does not work without these fatty acids. Most commercial cat foods are heavily skewed toward omega-6 fatty acids, which are pro-inflammatory when they dominate the ratio. A healthy omega-6 to omega-3 ratio for cats should be somewhere between 5:1 and 10:1. In many commercial dry cat foods, that ratio is closer to 20:1 or even 30:1. The cat's inflammation response is being lit constantly, and the fire extinguisher is empty. The solution is targeted omega-3 supplementation from a marine source. Wild-caught sardine oil or a high-quality fish oil formulated specifically for cats. Look for products that list EPA and DHA content, not just total omega-3s. The standard starting dose is approximately 50 to 75 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per kilogram of body weight. But I always tell people to start at the lower end and work up slowly while monitoring stool quality and general digestion. Now, some of you will reach for flaxseed oil as a plant-based omega-3 option. Here's the hard veterinary truth about that. Cats are obligate carnivores, and they lack the enzymatic pathway to efficiently convert ALA, the omega-3 found in plant sources like flax, into the EPA and DHA that their bodies actually use. Flaxseed oil for cats is largely a waste of money. Marine source. Always. I had a cat come through my clinic named Mochi, a 5-year-old Siamese. Absolutely beautiful animal. Chronic itching for 2 years, multiple food trials, multiple medication trials, frustrated owner who had spent thousands of dollars. When I reviewed his diet history, every food he had ever eaten was a dry kibble. High omega-6, near zero EPA and DHA. We added a high-quality sardine oil to his meals at an appropriate dose. Within 6 weeks, his owner sent me a photo. The coat was gleaming. The scratching had reduced by what she estimated was 80%. Not because we found an exotic solution, because we filled a deficiency that had been there the entire time. This is what holistic veterinary care looks like, my friends. Finding what is missing, not just suppressing what is loud. Now, let me bring this all together for you. You do not need to implement all of this tomorrow. In fact, I strongly encourage you not to. Add one change at a time. Give each change 2 to 3 weeks before layering on the next. Your cat's system needs time to adjust, and if you add 5 new things at once and something causes a reaction, you will have no idea which one was the problem. Here's a simple place to start what I call a foundational bowl and coat formula. 1 addition to the bowl, sardine-based omega-3 oil at the appropriate dose for your cat's weight. 1 gut support, a feline-specific probiotic given consistently for at least 30 days before you evaluate results. 1 coat application, food, grade diatomaceous earth dusted lightly into a dry coat for flea prevention, avoiding the face. 1 environmental action, hot water washing of all bedding every single week during any active flea period. Apple cider vinegar, diatomaceous earth, coconut oil, omega-3 marine oil, feline probiotics. These are your core tools. Use them patiently, use them correctly, and give them time. If your cat's scratching is severe, if the skin is broken or weeping or crusted, if you are seeing hair loss in significant patches, if your cat is losing weight or showing changes in behavior, please do not rely on home care alone. These natural strategies are support and prevention and maintenance. They are not a replacement for professional diagnosis when something serious is happening. The fact that you watched this entire video, that you took notes, that you are thinking about your cat's skin barrier and gut health and omega ratios, that is extraordinary. Most people stop at the first spray bottle they find on a shelf. You went deeper, and your cat is going to feel the difference. If this video helped you, please give it a like right now. It tells the algorithm that this safe, natural information is worth sharing, and that means more pet parents find it before they reach for something harmful. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a masterclass like this one. And leave me a comment below. I want to know, is your cat dealing with itching, with fleas, or both? Which of these ingredients are you going to add to the bowl first? Tell me, because I read every single one and your question might become the next video. The best medicine is usually already sitting in your kitchen. Give your dog a gentle scratch behind the ears for Dr. Park. Stay safe and always trust your instinct.